Hello everyone, welcome to Muck and Garyana Free. It's Sunday, which means a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the spin-off show from The Next Step, which is Lost and Found Music Studios. Lost and Found was filmed and is set between season 3 of The Next Step and season 4 of The Next Step. It is one of my favourite shows that I've watched, and I think it deserved a lot more recognition and attention than it actually got. The show is on Netflix currently, but I watched it when it was on CBBC, like when every new episode was originally released. So basically this entire video is just going to be reasons why I think Lost and Found deserved better, and why it kind of one-upped The Next Step in some instances. First of all, Lost and Found had a lot deeper storylines than what The Next Step had. The deepest The Next Step went with storylines was probably Michelle with her parents' divorce, James and Riley with the whole cheating scandal, Piper with her anxiety, and probably just the injuries. You could probably see them as quite deep because to dancers that's a really important thing to try and avoid. But Lost and Found went even deeper. So in Lost and Found there was a character called John who fancies Michelle, and his mum actually died. When it was aired in England, like on CBBC, they actually cut a lot of the scenes where he was explaining about his mum, but in the Canadian like full length episode it says a lot.
I opened the door to her room and I found her lying on the bed. I thought she was sleeping. My mom took her own life, but what she didn't realize is that when she did, it took a big part of ours. It crushed me.
I think that the actor, I can't remember his last name, but I know his name's Alex. He did very well at executing John's sadness and just overall kind of inability to want to let people in case they leave him and in case he hurts them in some way. It was a very touching storyline.
Just go, please.
John, no, that's enough.
Stop!
You don't have to go anywhere.
Just go, just please. I'm doing this for Michelle's own good. She's better off without me. Look, I'm broken. I don't know if I can do this, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't want to hurt you.
As well as this, there's Clara, who is Giselle's sister, and Giselle is a dancer on The Next Step.
I'm your sister. You're not acting like my sister.
How could you say something like that? I've always been there for you. And I'm here for you right now.
You're not here for me. You're just yelling at me in front of everyone. I'm gonna go to the concert, okay? I'm always... Okay, so I'm gonna go. Bye. See you later.
She had really bad anxiety, and that was kind of how the show ended. Like, she kind of had this big breakdown and it was very moving. Like, once again, like the acting from Jenny Ross was really good, and it just really, I don't know, like watching it for the first time I really wanted to cry because it was just so emotional.
Do you think I'm incapable?
Clara, I think you can do it.
No, but what you're doing right now is you're distracting me. Because I need time if you think that I can finish it. And now I don't have any time, and it's not going to be done by tonight.
Okay, easy. It's not a problem if it's not done by
What do you mean? What do you mean it's not a problem? You don't think I can do it? Can you leave, Clara? Please.
The Next Step did try and do something with anxiety, I think, with how they had Piper in season 6 really struggling with her confidence. The writer for both shows is Frank Van Keeken, so it's not like one show stole another show's ideas. They literally come from the same man. But I think because The Next Step kind of has a lower age, the viewers are younger for The Next Step than they are for Lost and Found, I think, because obviously not everyone watches it, and I think because it's on Netflix, kind of more older teens and stuff watch Lost and Found, so they can kind of be more deep and be a bit more serious with the storylines. But yeah, basically I just think Lost and Found pulled it off a lot better than The Next Step did in terms of anxiety. I also think that because season 6 of The Next Step came after like the entire shooting of Lost and Found, they were probably inspired to do something about anxiety because of how well people responded to Clara's anxiety on Lost and Found. So I think Piper is kind of mirroring that. As well as these two storylines, they also had strict controlling parents, and once again, this kind of mirrors The Next Step, but Lost and Found did it first with Ava.
My parents are really strict. I mean, I can't even wear lipstick. I have to be home before anyone else does, and it makes it really hard to make friends. Even though this is my second year here, I still don't feel like I fit in.
Her parents were very modest, and they liked things doing properly, and they didn't really want, I don't know, like creative expression. They cared a lot about academics, and obviously a lot of people can relate to that, so it's a good storyline to have. And I think this was reflected in season 5 again, where Amy's mom was really controlling of her, and she was like, dance is everything, you need to be on A Troop or you just don't dance at all.
My mom is a former dancer. She's really invested in my dance career. Sometimes I wish she would just find a hobby.
I think I need to be more involved with your training.
My mom wants to get more involved in my dance career. This is really not good.
So yeah, I think the next step was definitely inspired by a lot of the storylines on Lost and Found to try and carry them over and see if they were just as effective. The last storyline that I think is really serious on the show is actually about toxic relationships, and like obviously that was in the next step again with James and Riley and the whole cheating thing, but that came after. Lost and Found did it first with Mary and Tully. Mary and Tully was very much like, Mary was very naive to what Tully was really like, and his younger brother Isaac was telling her like he's bad news.
Tully's great, and I couldn't be any happier.
Well, I don't think you understand that everything Tully touches comes crashing down.
Get over yourself. Tully's great, okay?
And then we saw Tully kind of lash out at Mary, not like violently, but just with his attitude and kind of really aggressiveness.
Where is it? Where's the package?
I have no idea what's happening right now.
You were the last person in my car. The package is not there no more. It's not.
What brown package are you talking about? This is scary. What are you doing?
Because it kind of makes you aware and gives you kind of warning signs to look out for. It's just very good of Frank Van Keeken to put these storylines into place so that children can see them. I really like Lost and Found a bit more than The Next Step because the attention was evenly spread across all characters, and every single one had a storyline pretty much. Even if it was just for one episode, they had the limelight and to show something about their personality, and that didn't happen on The Next Step. I'm pretty sure that Wes did not have a single storyline like solely based around him. There were episodes where he had a lot of screen time, but the episode wasn't necessarily about him. The only thing I can think of was him. No, I can't think of anything. If you can think of a storyline where West had like all of the screen time and it was about him, then please tell me down below, but I honestly cannot think of anything. So another one is that Lost and Found was not love focused. There was not a lot of focus on relationships. Let me just back up a little bit. Leia and Luke, obviously they had their little, you know, chemistry thing. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but Leia really likes Luke. That's not a secret.
I like you.
So obviously there was relationship stuff, and there were a few kind of crushes and things like that, but it wasn't solely focused on relationships. Kind of how you think of season 4 was based on James, Riley and Alfie. A lot of attention was actually just on their musical ability and creation of songs and art, and I think if The Next Step had done this a bit more, like seeing the dancers really develop their dancing and become really great dance artists, it could have, you know, I might have liked season 4 a bit more if that had happened. Also, because Lost and Found had a lot of humour, it kind of equaled out the stuff about relationships and also the darker storylines. It kind of all evened into one playing field, where obviously you had your high points of like all drama and just like where it really intensified, but then it was kind of diluted by the humorous side of it. Characters I can think of that are really funny are Leia, just being really kind of dopey.
Hey guys! Leia's here. I wasn't expecting that at all.
James had a lot of funny things. James from The Next Step.
You know how sad that is for me to watch my friend skip out of here to a girl? Trust me, I know how to play this, all right?
I don't know what you want, man.
Not that! That's not cool, man.
Jude was also a funny character.
You say your name and who you're with.
Hello, my name is Jude, and I'm currently single.
There was just a good even spread of kind of, you're making a cake and you've got all your ingredients, you've got a bit of humour in there, you've got a bit of a deeper, darker storyline, a little bit of love, relationships, and you've got a little bit of music, well, a lot of bit of music, we'll put lots in there, and then you've got, if you stir it all up, you've got Lost and Found. And finally, what I really appreciated was that the crossovers from The Next Step weren't overpowering. So it wasn't like The Next Step was carrying this little sister show that it had, this spin-off. It was like Lost and Found had its own show, and the Next Step characters kind of just floated in wherever they were needed. It wasn't like, oh, why is Riley just sitting at the back just so that fans watch because they want to see Riley? It was like, this is Lost and Found. Riley comes in when James literally calls her to come in and stuff like that. So yeah, that was reasons why I really enjoyed Lost and Found, and why in some cases I preferred it to The Next Step. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.